Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ServiceNow Interview Guide. I hope you are liking our videos in the series of ITSM interview questions. I am starting a new video, which is video number 7, and that video is what is a change management? So, in this video, we see all the perspective of change management with respect to interview questions. So, stay tuned. I hope you are going through each and every video which I am sharing here. Very, very important for interview. Okay, so don't miss these videos. It is providing you enough clarity so that you can excel in your interviews. Okay, so let's go to the PDF. So you see, this is a high value interview question, especially for experienced candidate. Yes. For if you are experienced, then somewhere, somehow you will be asked this question, what is change management? So first of all, you should be aware of a simple and straightforward definition which I am sharing here. So change management is ITSM practice used to ensure that changes to IT services are planned, approved, implemented, and reviewed in a controlled manner to minimize the risk and disruption. For any business, continuity of IT services is very important. And in the infrastructure of the company which is providing IT services or on which the IT services are dependent, if that infra is changing somehow, somewhere, and if it is not noticed, if it is not planned, if that happen, then it obviously impact the IT services, it disrupt the IT services. That's why change management ensure that whatever changes are happening in the IT services or in the infrastructure of the IT services or the dependent infrastructure of the company, it is planned. It means you are planning it, then you are changing it. It is approved. Once it is planned, it is approved by the stakeholders, approved by the people who are looking after these, services, these infrastructure things. They understand why it is happening. They have to understand and they have to provide approval on that, and it is implemented. People should know when this change going to happen so that they can do some prerequisite pre measures so that the services are not impacted. And reviewed, finally it is reviewed to minimize the risk and disruption. Yes, it is minimizing when you have everything in control. When you know that this thing is going to happen on that day, then in that case you can take some preventive actions, okay, so that the risk of disruption of services will be minimum. Okay, so this is what clear and simple definition and meaning of change management. So let me explain definition in a simplest term one more time. A change, what is a change? Okay, a change is any addition, modification, removal that could affect IC services. So I told you, whatever is happening, let's say uh, you have a server, okay, and that server is providing a particular, let's say, email service. So we have an email server. So that server is now going to be upgraded. Okay, so once it is going to be upgraded, okay, you have to switch off the servers or you have to, restart the servers. You have to do certain real-time activities. And when you do these things, obviously, there may be an interruption. So whenever you are going to do that thing, whenever you are going to upgrade, you must ensure that everything is planned, everything is having a certain measures, everyone is being communicated about this particular change, and then you do it. In this case, if you do it like this, then obviously the minimum risk is there. Otherwise, if you do just right now or just like that only, okay, in that case it may stop email service. It may let's say some important meeting is going on or some important uh, project is going on. In that case, what will happen? It immediately or stop the email service, and it is impacting a lot. So anything can happen. Okay, so we have to make sure that whatever we are doing with planning, we are doing with the approval, and everything is being logged properly. So a change is any addition, modification, removal that could affect IT services. Change management exists to avoid unplanned outages, service instability, business impact. This is not to block changes, but to make them safe. Yes, nobody is stopping you to do changes in the infra, but it is making these changes safe. It is making these changes less impactable to the business. That's what this change management is doing. Okay, in simple words, change management ensure changes do not break the existing services. I told you already. Okay, you see, this is a diagram. Uncontrolled change. When change is not controlled, you are just going and doing it by your own without informing anything. What will happen? It may provide or it may cause service outage, which is again having a huge business impact. You never know. Okay, that's why we need change management properly. There are certain type of changes as well. This is also one of the important question or favorite question of interviewers. What are the type of changes? So basically we have three type of changes: standard change, normal change, and emergency change. Okay, so these questions are frequently asked. That's why you should know that. So first one is standard change, which is a pre-approved, low risk and repeatable. So there are certain type of changes which are low risk, repeatable and pre-approved. For example, you want to add a new user. Whenever a new user is added to the company, a new employee added to the company, you want to add that user into the production, right? Into the user table or something like that. You need to reset the password. So these are the very low risk things because it is user level. Okay, so it's in this we generally have a standard change where no cab is needed. Change advisory board, no cab meeting is needed, means no need to sit on the table, no need to say have a meeting and see the impact analysis of that thing, because it is a daily thing, it is happening on daily basis. So that's why it is a pre-approved, no approval instead needed in this case. Then we have the normal change, require assessment and approval. So it is a normal change. Normal change means it is a not high frequency, but it required again certain type of approval. For example, you are moving your customizations into the production. You are delivering a particular enhancement into the production. You are delivering a particular defect. You are into the production. Okay, or you are upgrading the instance. So all these things comes under normal change. In this change, we do need a particular approvals. We do need what, CAB, change advisory board approval as well. Okay, so generally we do most of the time normal change whenever in case of service now we are promoting any kind of changes into the production. So that is a normal change which we will create. Then it comes to emergency change. So emergency change is whenever we have an incident which is of high priority. Okay, in that case we need to in that case we need to restore the service as soon as possible. That's why this change is created on urgent basis directly from the incident. Okay, that's why it is saying urgent change to restore the service. Okay, so make sure you understand all these type of changes and you have a proper solid example with you. Very important. So what is the life cycle of this change? Generally, you see the change is requested, then its risk and impact will be assessed. Okay. After that, once we have the risk and impact, then we have the approval. This approval is again CAB approval, that is change advisory board approval. What is CAB, change advisory board? These are the various stakeholders who are involved in this particular change or who are going to impacted by this change. Okay, so these all people sit together, they see, okay, this thing you are going to change and how much it is impacting to our services. If any of the stakeholder is not agree that I am not comfortable with this particular change, in that case what will happen, the change will be cancelled. Okay, that's why change advisory board or CAB meeting is very important. You must have heard in your organization also that we have a CAB approval or we have a CAB meeting going on. So this is what the approval here. Okay, once everything is properly approved, okay, everyone is okay, then we have to implement the change. We have to provide the timing of the change and then implement the change. Once on that day the change is implemented, it is then reviewed and finally closed. Okay, so this is a simple workflow of a change management. Then we have the real world example here. A company plan to upgrade a production server. Change request is raised. Impact of the user and system is assessed. Change is approved and scheduled during the low usage hours. Upgrade is complete successfully. Service disruption avoided. I hope whatever I have explained till now is all covered in this. Okay, the same thing I am telling you with some other examples. So this is how the hierarchy of the change goes on. Why change management is important for business? Change management helps business by preventing the outages. First and foremost, it is preventing the outage, because whatever changes you are doing in the system, it is uh, analyzing the risk, providing a time, that is providing the change window, so that everyone will be aware that this change is going to happen at this time. Okay, so that's why it is preventing the outages, because no poor change, no unnoticed change is going to happen. Whatever is happening, whatever change is happening with approval of everything. Okay, so this is what saving time and preventing the outages. Reducing the operational risk, yes, obviously. Improving service reliability, yes, very important. And building the trust between IT and the business. Yes, IT team is the one who is going to do the changes every time. Okay, and that's why when IT team is very much transparent about the changes, they communicate each and everything to the whole impacted user. That's where the trust is developed between business teams as well as between the IT teams. And this trust is going to make this change successful, is going to make the users happy, and a reliable organization will come into place. Okay, so this is why it is important. Then we have common interview mistakes. So what are the interview mistakes? Thinking change management slow down the work. Yes, people may think, why do we have all such hurdle? Why do we do all this complex thing? Whenever we want to change, let's do the change. Okay, why should I go for approval? Why should I go for a particular cab meeting? Why should I wait for 1 week and then do the implementation? So this whole process is kind of hesitant for the people. Okay, people hesitate, but if you do not do this process, then obviously I told you what are the impacts, what are the you know uh, issues when we are not following a proper change. So that's why this is a common mistake, but we should avoid it. Ignoring risk, impact, and assessment. Yes, people are ignoring the risks. They're not considering, they're not calculating the risk properly. And once the change damage, then they will come to know, oh, this is happening like this. This whole process is now waste of time. Okay, the business is also going down, the money revenue stream is also down. In that case, it will be a horror situation in the office or somewhere wherever the change people are sitting, and the businesses means higher management is continuously poking them to do the things, and why you have not done all this assessment previously. So you have to do that. Confusing change management with deployment. Deployment is a part of change management. What is change management? I told you. Properly auditing each and everything is a change management, which we discussed at the top. Forgetting emergency change control. Yes, this is also one of the common mistake. So what structure you should use? We told you clear definition already. What is the purpose of change management, type of change management, and a simple example. Each and everything I have explained you. This simple structure you have to keep in mind. Okay, so whenever you go to interview, all these things will be in your mind, will be discussed by you properly, so that you will be able to answer there without any hesitation, without any confusion. Okay, so change management protects service while allowing the innovation. Yes, this is very important. What is the next topic? What is service request in ITSM? So we move to what is a service request. So this is all about with respect to interviews, what is change management in a very, very simple terms, very, very short video. I hope you like it. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, okay? Because you are not going to get such simplicity of these great topics anywhere. Thank you. Bye bye.